Welcome back, boys. Just got off the train. It was a very long train ride. I don't know why it took a lot longer than usual, but we're finally back in the car driving home. And honestly, I woke up with not that much energy in the morning, but did get a lot of energy after the workout because the workout was pretty good. Maybe it's because all the testosterone is locked up in the legs, and after doing a leg day, all the blood started moving and that beautiful tea started kicking in. But I had a good amount of energy the whole day, finished pretty well at work, and had some really interesting thoughts going through my head all day. And I wanted to share it with you guys. And basically, to start it off, there's nothing better than taking action, just initiative. You know, you won't learn, you won't learn as much as you can if you don't take action. There is some level of insight that you gain from just doing. You know, there's a saying that came up as like, the reason I can talk about the walk is because I walk the talk. And I can talk about the walk like people who only that, something like that. I don't know, something like that. But basically, when you actually walk the talk, you gain insight that people only who talk about the walk, but they don't really walk the talk, it's surface level. And when you begin to do whatever you're desiring to do, you gain insight. You can listen to another person talk about it, and they can provide insight, but it doesn't stick into your mind until you really do it for yourself. So your greatest teacher is just doing attempts and having the ability not to judge and condemn yourself so quickly for making a mistake or failing, but having the awareness to step back from the situation and just say, okay, how could we improve? What went wrong? What false beliefs did I hold that allowed something like this to happen? Or what information was I missing or am missing to not allow this to repeat? And it's just that continuous growth mindset that is just heavily needed in modern time. Because through schooling, really, schooling just teaches you pass or fail. They don't teach about, oh, you got to see, let's run the test again and get you to a B, get you to an A. It's like you pass or fail, and that kind of determines the, in younger teenagers and toddlers, they see the world in a very dualistic way, that if they don't pass, I'm not lovable because I'm not smart, or I'm a failure, and because I'm a failure, I'm not lovable, or I'm not worth to love. So we see these like the dualistic reality. So the faster you're able to overcome this fear of failure, because the reason why we fear failure is because we decently believe and have been programmed and deceived into thinking that if I fail in any category in my life, for some reason, right, it deems me unlovable or unworthy of love. And that's why we hide our failures, guys, because we don't want to reveal our shame, right? Whenever, for example, this happens with insecurity, right? Where imagine if someone boasts in their success, right? When a person comes into the room that's more successful than them, they shrink. They have like an insecurity reaction where they automatically judge and condemn the person and undermine their success that they might have cheated to get there. Or they begin to slander the person to make themselves feel better. Because when they walked in the room, right, they felt lower. And when they went lower, they fell into a space of feeling insecure. And that's where a lot of hate, a lot of hate and jealousy is a sign of appreciation that's coming out of an egotistical mind, from the ego. But let's go back to the point. Let's see if I can make this green light. Right. So taking action, when you begin to actually do it, rather than think and visualize and manifest, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. A lot of, and because I got into that trap too, that I can sit around and visualize and manifest and everything will just magically happen. Okay. Well, it doesn't. The real dreams are made out of action, guys. As the Bible says, faith without works is dead. Right? Manifestation and visualization is a type of faith. But if your actions are not aligned with what you're visualizing, you're fantasizing. Fantasizing is escapism from your current situation. That's all it is, guys. A lot of people manifest and visualize. It's a traumatic response to your current situation. That's what it is. If you're not taking any actions that align with your manifestation or visualizations, you're fantasizing. Escapism. That's what it is, guys. It's the same thing that people claim to believe in something, and then you look at their actions and their reactions to things, and you're like, I'm having my doubts that you actually say you believe in that. Because you can say you can believe in it, but your subconscious beliefs, your being doesn't align with it. When you say you believe in something, that belief has to have dominion over your thought process and your emotional responses. If it doesn't, it's just something you speak with your mouth, right? But as I was saying, visualization is very helpful. Manifestation, the law of attraction and vibration, it has its truths, but it's limited because it almost robs us from the ability to take action. If there's no action, if there's no actual progress that moves you to actually have those things come about in your life, you're just lying to yourself. And there's some people that are very successful. What did they do? They just took action, and they stopped caring. They stopped caring what other people would think if they failed. They stopped caring about how they would feel if they failed. They became their consciousness, their identity became independent of outcome. They just knew, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm called to do, and I'm just going to do it. And it doesn't matter about the outcome. And this is something that Christ taught. Forming, it's not really forming, but in this case, I'm just going to put it in, for the sake of the lesson, I'm going to say forming. Christ taught us to form identity that is independent of outcome. Right? So for example, he taught people, when you guys fast, put oil right on your face so you don't walk around, with a sad face, allowing everybody to know you're fasting, like how righteous you are. Oh, wow, you're worshiping God, right? And then the other one, he says, when you pray, go in secret. Don't stand on the side of the streets and let the whole world know that you're praying. Right? Sorry, there's a guy. So weird. There's people that just don't know how to drive or completely lost. But anyway, Christ taught I'm going to touch upon a little bit. He said, when you fast, put oil on your face so you look like you're not fasting. When you're praying, don't pray on the streets and do vain repetitions, long repetitions, so everybody knows like how holy you are, how religious you are, and you stand on the streets for 30 an hour repeating the same thing, not for God. You're not doing it for God. You're doing it for the praise of men, for people to see like, oh, look how righteous, holy they are. Christ is telling, don't do this to be seen. But we have religions, go out on the street and pray. They want to let the whole world know that they're fasting. That's the exact opposite of what Christ said. He says, do these things in secret and you will be rewarded in secret. The other one, he says, when you give to someone, right? Give to someone that can't give you anything in return, right? And then he says, pray that they don't give you anything in return, right? And you shall be rewarded, and you shall be like children of God. Then there was one more that he did. Basically, and then he says, whatever you do with your right hand, don't let your left hand know. So he's teaching what? Do things in secret. Why? Because he wants you to form an identity that isn't dependent on the praise of people. He wants you to form an identity that you're not doing things because you want something in return. I give you, I get something in return, right? When you do the religious or the cultural or the ethnic or the political things, don't do it because you want to be seen by others. Do these things without desiring to be seen. So he's teaching us, right, to form an identity that acts independent of reward, independent of praise, independent of validation, independent of trying to prove yourself to others. He's teaching you the art of having a character that is independent of outcome. You do it because this is who you are. You're not nice because you want to get rewarded for being nice. You're not doing nice things to people because you want them to do something nice to you in return. You're not giving a homeless man money for him to give you money back, or have some people look at you, oh, what a nice person. Christ is teaching, be holy because your Father in heaven is holy. He's trying to reveal to us, you are love already, and your actions, your kindness should not be influenced by a reward, right? Or fear of punishment. That is creating a identity that's independent of outcome. For example, a lot of people start creating videos and they want followers really quick, and they quit really quick. Quit really quick. Why? It's because their efforts was dependent on outcome. So when you do things, it's a secret, guys. Christ was unlocking the true identity of a person. He was reversing the bewitchment and the witchcraft that humanity is under. Because if you really study why a person does certain things, it's very much, right? Very much always for something in return. Everything's very transactional. You watch it and study it. Study how your brain does things for attention. Study your brain, how it begins to mold and do things to get another person to accept them or to be seen, right? That's where petty story, victimhood became popular, is because whoever was able to share the most victimhood story, they would get people's sympathy. And we wire attention with love. So people out here crafting the biggest victimhood stories because that's the only way they realize they got attention. So they instead of trying to improve their situation, right, to grow out of it, they stick to the victim story to continue to get attention, is because that's the only time they were able to be seen, right? So what I'm saying, guys, you have to keep doing things over and over and over without wanting praise, right, or to be seen. Because when you create an identity that's independent of outcome, guess what, guys? People's praise and people's criticism does not affect you, because your identity is no longer dependent on the external environment's perception of you. That is power, guys. That is the I am power of God living through you. When you begin to do things because of who you are, you express who you are, regardless if people like it or people don't like it. That is power, guys. The power to express yourself without desiring to be loved or liked or praised. And even if people speak evil of you and call you whatever nasty names they want to call you, and it doesn't affect you, that right there, brothers and sisters, that is liberty. Your soul has been set free. So catch yourself when you do that. Yeah, well, I'm pulling up to the house. I'm gonna be I'm gonna hit the gym because I feel good and I want to continue meditating on all these things. And I have a couple questions I need to reflect on. I wrote some questions that I need to continue to reflect on and pray on. And yeah, today's a pretty good day. And another thing, a little short term, don't compromise. Do not compromise, guys. Those small little tasks, get them done. If you can do it in less than 2 minutes, don't even think about it and just do it. If you can get it done in under less than 2 or 5 minutes, just do it without thinking. Just start it. All right. That's my last piece of advice. As always, guys, live with intention. Know your whys. Let there be action. And talk with God all day, all night. And God bless you guys. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.